Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it. But Johnny, we got to move into our last topic. We're going back into Marvel, and this was one where I kind of wanted to have this discussion.
Yes.
But I didn't want to have it in the Guardians review, and the reason being is I thought we were going to go about 20 minutes on this.
Yeah.
And I didn't want our Guardians review, which is already over 50 minutes, as we already recorded that one. And I didn't want this to make it over an hour podcast.
Exactly.
So that's why we mentioned if you're coming over from our Guardians review, welcome. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on our YouTube page or blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. And basically what we're talking about today is Adam Warlock and how he's going to fit into the MCU. Because at the end of, spoilers by the way for Guardians 2, at the end of Guardians 2, we see his cocoon.
Yes.
And the Sovereign is like,
Aisha,
we're going to, I will call him Adam.
Yeah.
And I was so excited that we get Adam Warlock. However, and I'm putting the interview down below in the description for you guys, IGN talked to James Gunn about Adam Warlock, and he basically said that he will become a part of the
MCU.
Not the MCU. He said the
Celestial, the space one.
The space universe. So basically Guardians.
Maybe a little bit of Thor.
But it will be after
Infinity Wars.
So this is for sure not going to be entwined with the Soul Stone, not going to be entwined with the Infinity Gauntlet, not going to be entwined with Thanos. I'll throw it to you. You'll start. You're the Marvel boy.
Yeah.
How is Adam Warlock going to fit into the MCU now?
This is going to be a hard one now because
he can't fit Infinity War in there.
I mean, now I want to know does he mean all of Infinity Wars or does he mean Infinity?
I think he means both.
Infinity Wars Part 1. That's what I'm going to go with. He just means both. The Infinity Wars as a whole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing I know we can tell from the movie is that obviously he's going to go after the Guardians of the Galaxy at first.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with that? I have no idea. He's being created because that's how the
the Sovereign.
The Sovereign do is they create the ones to be born.
Yeah.
And how they want them, like what they want out of them.
And he's just the newest form.
He's the newest form. He's like an evolution of them now. So maybe he'll have some of his powers that he's supposed to have, but I guess he's being created to take out the Guardians of the Galaxy because they have a big thing against them now. Thank you, Rocket, for stealing those batteries.
Well, and the thing that I kind of think of is because in the comic book, he's linked to the Gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
And how are you going to link him? Are you going to link him at all to that Gauntlet after Infinity War? Because the thing that will be interesting is and it all depends on what happens to the Infinity Gauntlet after Infinity War.
Yes.
Because what could happen is it could be destroyed, which if it is, okay, they're going to fit him in a different way. But if it's not, let's say it goes back to Asgard where we first saw it.
Yeah.
Or the Guardians have it. Adam Warlock will need to go get his gauntlet because that is what he is in the comics is associated with, is the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's one of the big things with him. And you know what? I think the smartest thing out of what the Avengers and the Guardians and everyone can do in the winning side with a winning side of the Infinity Wars is to split up the gauntlet again. Split up the Infinity Stones like they did before. So then they had the gauntlet is somewhere else and all these stones.
Each the stones are with different people.
Yes, exactly. I think that would be the best way they can do it as a safety precaution thing if they don't destroy it. And maybe that will lead to him getting his soul gem still. If not, maybe he finds out about the Infinity Gauntlet and he's maybe part of the storyline is to defeat what I've been made for, to defeat the Guardians.
He's going to go after the Guardians at first because that's what the Sovereign will want him to do.
And that's what he's being bred for. That's what he's going. That's all he's going to know. So he's actually at least going to go after them first. And maybe some point is like, I'm going to get one of the Infinity Stones. Maybe it doesn't have to be the Soul Gem in this case. He'll be like, I get this stone. I'm going to use this to take out the Guardians. And somewhere along the lines, it's like, hey, he learns that the Sovereign weren't correct. They just did it because of this. And they're a little too harsh. Hey, Guardians are actually doing really good things for the universe. And obviously the storyline changes from there because Adam Warlock can take one of two ways. He can either be a good guy
or a
bad guy. And I mean, that's the flip of the coin in the comic books even. He's either a good guy or bad guy. So who knows which one we're going to get. I'm hoping and I'm thinking it's going to be the good guy version. It's going to be like many of them, misunderstanding. Oh, wait, we're on the same team. Or I should be on this team type thing.
Unless, and I'm kind of thinking, let me throw this out to you.
Okay.
Because the Guardians, I don't think it's going to be the same Guardian duo over and over and over.
Yeah, that's true.
What if we get after Guardians 3? Because the big thing that I'm kind of thinking about is after Infinity Wars, are you going to want to keep using, at that point, it'd be a crutch to keep going to the Infinity Gauntlet as your main source of evil. Obviously, in Phase 4, they're going to find, after Thanos is defeated, they're going to find a different big threat.
Oh, they are.
To kind of impede the MCU, even if it goes on that far. Because eventually, you got to think, and it's funny that I bring this up because back in the day, Mark would always say, Mark from MVP would be like, well, when is this superhero movie trend going to die? And so far it hasn't.
No.
Mainly because of Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel's
they've been kicking
carrying
things
it
out.
and kind of tying everything together nicely. What if in a future Guardians movie after 3, it becomes the kind of, they change up the lineup.
Yeah.
And it's instead of like Gamora, Drax, and Groot, we see more of an Adam Warlock, Star-Lord, Rocket. We get Nova from the Nova Corps. We actually get him into the MCU, and we see a different Guardians lineup.
That's we get a potential with that too. I mean, something could happen during the Infinity Wars where we need that new lineup. I mean, they're either way. I feel like Adam Warlock's still gonna go after whatever Guardians of the Galaxy are out there.
Yeah,
because now the name is out there. There's at least gonna probably be one original member in the group, and they're still gonna just go after them. For Guardians are to the Sovereign, the Guardians are no good. The Guardians need to go.
Yeah,
and that's what Adam Warlock is gonna grow up. Knowing, grow up.
Yeah. Because I just wonder, are they going to change? Are they going to change the lineup a little bit?
They may. I that one I couldn't say, just because I mean we have right now a group with chemistry that works. To change that takes a little bit, and I mean you're not going to change the whole group. You may change the maximum of 3 characters. Because you want to keep a lot of, like, you want to have that one anchor for the group.
Because, I mean, the thing that, and I'm obviously looking at, there's obviously there's really different lineups that you could go with. And we saw a kind of homage to the original team of Starhawk. We had Yondu was even in that original team, but Yondu, we saw the little breakup.
Yeah.
We saw Mertenax. We saw Charlie 27. Basically, the people that Stallone was with.
Yeah.
That was the original
homage to the group.
That was the original team for, or in the comics, the Earth 691 Guardians of the Galaxy team. I wonder if they'll change things up to where, like, I know, like, the modern team is, like, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, Adam Warlock eventually is in there.
Yeah.
But, like, you look at, like, the Marvel Now team. You get people like Angela, a character that people have talked about in relation to Thor. Are we going to see her?
Yeah.
Agent Venom. We are going to get a Venom movie. Do they try to tie that in? Now, does Sony be like, hey, you know, we gave you Spider-Man, we got a Venom. Venom's doing great. Here, we'll sell you the rights to Venom so you can do an Agent Venom. You can have him in your movies. Captain Marvel, she is going to be in the MCU.
And we're supposed to get a Captain Marvel movie.
Are we going to get that to where eventually we kind of make things and they go over to where the team changes? It's not like a direct... Because the thing that Marvel has done greatly
Yeah.
is they have said, we are not afraid to change things up from the comics. We are not chained to what has happened in the comics.
Exactly.
What if they change it up and go, hey, you know what? Instead of the team we've got now, we're going to go with a team of Star-Lord, Captain Marvel, Agent Venom, and Adam Warlock.
Very much could.
With
Yeah,
Rocket,
that's not
with Rocket without Groot.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible too. They could go and do that because they're not tied down to the specific comics,
Yes.
as we see in many of them. Yeah, they take source material from there, but they take liberties too. But I'm just glad they take the right liberties and don't change everything.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't think we've answered this question, but I'm going to throw it out again.
Yes.
You made the point of what path, we're making the assumption that Adam Warlock starts off villainous against the Guardians and then comes around. What if that doesn't happen?
It's very possible.
What if he stays on his own and eventually, he's always against Guardians because that is what he is bred for off the start with what's happened in the Sovereign? Because the thing that they've brought up in the MCU, and I think you brought it up in the Guardians review that we did.
Yes, I think so.
The MCU is no longer, okay, this movie happened, then it's the next movie, then it's the next movie.
It's no longer chronological.
This Guardians movie happened 2 months after the first one.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, this one is actually set in the past where I think Thor is going to be happening during Civil War, where I think we're sticking with that kind of premise. But that's the one thing I want to throw out to you. I was reading some of the, catching up with some more Adam Warlock, and I was reading through his bio, his character bio, and he is created. The original one, he's created on scientists from Earth called the Enclave.
Yeah.
And he actually, before he flies into space, he goes up against Thor. So maybe we'll have a Thor conflict in there.
Like you said, we could.
Yeah.
I think what Adam Warlock will be,
because he is part of now, he's starting to reach into the space part of it, which he was initially, but he's starting to reach more into there now, like he should, in my opinion.
what if he becomes the big baddie of Phase 4?
Very much so.
Does he have enough? Does he have enough oomph, like Thanos,
Yeah.
to be the big baddie for Phase 4 after Thanos is defeated?
Here's what I'm going to say. He has potential to be, but I feel like then if that's the case, we don't destroy the Infinity Gauntlet, because that's the thing.
Oh, I don't think the Gauntlet's getting destroyed.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it is.
But I think the problem would be is that I don't think that it's I wouldn't consider it a crutch then, because it is like an all powerful weapon. I mean, the whole problem is kind of like I'm going to reference this Dragon Ball Z. You have to get them all together for the thing to work properly.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing I'm kind of thinking through my head is, okay, James Gunn in the interview that I put down below in the description, he mentioned cosmic side of it.
Yeah.
I immediately thought to myself, well, Ricky, how can he be the big baddie if he's on the cosmic side? Because it's going to be hard to draw in the Iron Mans, the Captain Americas, Hulk. They kind of did that where he's
Planet Hulk
with Thor in that, but that's because of the Planet Hulk. Like drawing in the Earth heroes to a cosmic. I mean, I get Thanos is cosmic, but would they ever draw Adam Warlock and link him in to that?
I think they could. I mean, if we need a new big baddie, that's one route we can go, is making him the villainous one as opposed to the good Adam Warlock, because there's ones where he is villainous, or like the rebirthing and stuff like that. There's that potential. I mean, on the other side, we can find a new big baddie. I don't know what they would go exactly, because in the cosmic version of it, we can't use Galactus right now because he's owned by...
Because he's an X-Men.
He's part of that group. He's owned by Fox. Yeah. So, I mean, we have to find some sort of big villain. I mean, and let's not forget, some of these villains that we had before to make some little tie-over movies can come back. I would say that, we still could potentially have Red Skull. Maybe
even a...
Cosmic Skull?
Not Cosmic Skull, but I'm trying to think of... I know Sony and Marvel have worked together so far for Spider-Man. What if they try to do it to where if it's, okay, let's bring Venom, let's bring Carnage into it. I know those aren't probably as big as Red Skull or anything, but the big one, the thing is, Red Skull would probably be the biggest because
Yeah.
like I'm looking right now at a list of 100 Marvel heroes, just taking their top 10, and this is debatable, but I'm just using this as an experiment. Number 10, Kingpin. No, you already used him. He's not big enough. Apocalypse could work. I just don't see Fox saying with everything they're doing, they're not going to reboot anything to give the MCU.
I don't think they're going to give
rights
MCU
to
that.
Number 8, Thanos.
We already
have
got him.
done that.
We have him.
7, Ultron. Ultron could come back.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't think they'd go there.
Could be inside the
6,
Mind Stone, maybe not.
Galactus.
Owned by Fox again.
Kind of a same thing. Well, the thing is with Galactus, and this is the thing I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Is he owned by the company that owns the X-Men or the ones that own the Fantastic Four?
Same company.
Is
Both of
both
them
those
are Fox.
Okay.
The thing with that,
I couldn't
pretty
remember
sure.
if the Fantastic Four was 20th Century.
I think it is 20th century.
Because that's the big thing. If they are, that could be one. And I'm looking right now. It is 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
20th Century Fox
Yes.
is the ones that owns the Fantastic Four. So it's kind of similar.
I mean, they
And
could try and do a Spider-Man thing. Was hey, we want to use Galactus.
Yeah.
We'll give you this amount, like we're doing with Sony for Spider-Man, in order to use him. Because what are
They
we?
could try it. I don't think it works.
Well, the thing is, how much is Fox using Galactus right
Yeah.
now?
Not at all.
Exactly.
But Loki already used him. Red Skull could come back.
Exactly.
And then the final 3, Norman Osborn. I don't think
I don't see
that they
him.
would go there. And then Magneto and Doctor Doom.
Yeah. Those ones not so much because again, Doctor Doom is Fox and Magneto is Fox.
Yeah, unless they tried to go with like a, if they try, what if they brought Dormammu back?
They could do Dormammu.
Because that was one that they kind of have teased that he could be coming back because Doctor Strange never really killed him.
Yeah, and we can actually start expanding on not just the universe, but the dimensional changes that Doctor Strange hit.
I mean, they mentioned Leader from the first Hulk.
That's true.
I mean, he was in that one.
But what I read is they don't want to do a specific Hulk movie, which
Sure. Well,
so
I'm talking about like just bringing that in. MODOK.
yeah, that's true. MODOK.
They could.
We do have AIM, so maybe we'll get a MODOK.
I mean, I'm trying to just look through this list, Mr. Sinister, but that's more of a Fox
That's
thing.
a Fox one.
I don't know if Fox would, again, all these just owning different rights for stuff. I don't know. I'm looking at the rest of these and I don't even think any of
Honestly,
these would happen. The Grandmaster, we already have him. And yeah, the rest of these, I'm kind of looking at it like, no, I don't see this happening.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to do a big baddie thing, which I guess if you want to like retie in the whole universe again, because this is what we're going to get with Infinity Wars, is a huge tie-in of everything. It's probably going to be one of the biggest superhero movies out there, just because we have 2 separate groups coming together. It's maybe not going to be exactly like when we first got the Avengers together, but I feel like it's going to have some of that feeling again with such a big group.
So you're saying go off kind of on their own?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna like. Are we gonna like after Infinity Wars Part 1, Infinity Wars Part 2? Are we gonna want to have the conglomerate of 2 groups making one really big group of like 11 to 12 people?
So you're saying go off
right away?
Go off on their own, and then after we have them off like we did at the beginning of this whole process, then bring something big back into it.
Yeah, I think that'd be because I mean, I'm gonna ask you again. Do you want? Would you want? Let's say we just defeat Thanos, and are you gonna want them to? Hey, let's do some side stories again, or are you gonna say, oh, hey, here's the next big baddie?
Tease it. I want you to tease it.
Okay, I can understand that.
What I want after Infinity Wars is I want the after credit scene to tease what the next big one is. Kind of in the same vein as Thanos turns around and smiles.
No, I can
that kind of
I
a
can
tease.
agree with that actually.
So it's one of those like we don't know when it's going to happen, but this is coming.
Yeah, no, I can
Something
see
is
that. I
coming.
would want to tease too, at least some idea of hey, what's going to happen next.
Like that's what I would want. Or even if it's like the Watcher talking to like an Iron Man, talking to like the Avengers, something to tease what the next plan is.
Yeah, what the next step of everything's going to be.
And it's open book after that. After Infinity Wars, they could go in a numerous amount of directions.
Maybe the Watcher talks to like Iron Man or someone from the Earth group and says, "There's way more out there than what you know."
And then they try to bring in the cosmic universe.
Bring them out to the cosmic universe, because there are some things where they do go into space. Iron Man has a spacesuit. Yeah,
maybe he gets a space. He starts making the spacesuit in the MCU.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we don't know what...
No, I'm saying he had it. The Gemini one, in Iron... Maybe he'll rebuild it, because in Iron Man 3, there was the space one.
And we don't even know what's going to happen with the Captain Marvel. Maybe something happens there that changes it a different way. But to end this and kind of put a kibosh on it, Adam Warlock, final thoughts. How do you think they're going to fit him in to the MCU?
I'm just going to say the same thing I said before. He's going to start off kind of the villain in some senses, and I think we're going to get that generic thing of, hey, you know, since he was a good guy, he's going to become, like, flip it back around and say, you know what? Wow, this actually isn't right. Since he is the evolution of the Sovereign, he's going to have a different way of thinking eventually. Kind of like Vision. He didn't, like, right away you thought, like, or you didn't think this, but it's like, it's Ultron's baby. Yeah. Is he going to be good? And then he flips. This was a lot quicker
to where
for
he's
him.
Kind of, you're saying Adam Warlock is going to be influenced by the Sovereign, then start to learn, wait, these guys are good. Why am I
it's going to be like
them?
Like that 2 minutes that Vision went from, is he a villain, to, oh, he's on our side.
But this will be
it's
more
gonna
than
stretched
5
out in a
minutes.
movie.
Yeah. And I can kind of see that to where I think right away he's got to be the baddie, because he's got to be influenced
by the Sovereign
who have created him. So that's kind of our thoughts, our big ones on Adam Warlock. This is where you guys let us know down below what you guys think. Also check out the interview with James Gunn, talked about Adam Warlock. That's down below in the description. Want to thank you guys for either watching on YouTube or listening on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, or Stitcher. You can follow myself at Ricky Widmer. Johnny is at War Machine 9085. And Johnny, why should they follow you?
For the Adventures with Groot. I go everywhere with baby Groot now, and come on, check out those pictures. You know you want to see them.
You just got to see what Rocket Johnny over here is doing. That's kind of a reference in its own. Rocket Johnny over with baby Groot and what they are doing. Also check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. If you like the podcast, want to support us in a different way, go check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Want to thank you guys for watching and listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you everyone for watching the Rick and Johnny podcast. Click right here to watch another squanchy video, and let's get rickety wrecked!